Hi, my name is Patricia Flatla, and I thought I'd take the opportunity to tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in Strathmore, Alberta, where I graduated from the high school called Samuel Crowther, Go Samuel Crowther, and I received my bachelor's degree in 1978 from the University of Alberta in Edmonton, Alberta. I've been a full-time instructor with adult education for the past 13 years. And all of my duties have been in early childhood, educational assistance, and disability studies, both at a certificate level and a diploma level. During the last 13 years of teaching adults, I've had the opportunity to work in different formats and using different instructional strategies. When I first started teaching at Portage, I taught face-to-face in a room with actual students. Then I moved on to video conferencing, where I would sit in front of a camera and I had the opportunity to teach students all over Alberta using video conferencing. Now I've moved on to Illuminate, where I use the Illuminate format and I sit in my office and I still broadcast in the same way to students all over Alberta. I think that it's very important that everybody has an opportunity for an education. And because of this technology, we can reach people not just in Alberta, Northwest Territories, but all over the world on how to care for children and their needs. During the last 13 years, I must have built and maintained at least 45 early childhood and educational assistant course sites using WebCT first of all, Moodle 1.8, and Moodle 1.9 course management models. These were both companion sites and standalone online courses. So needless to say, I've had an uphill battle and a big learning curve when it comes to technology, because I thought when I first started teaching that perhaps I would be able to retire without using the internet or the computer. It's been a challenge, and it's been very, very rewarding in that I've had the opportunity to learn these technologies in order to reach the needs of students everywhere, not just in Alberta, but worldwide. During my last 40 years as an educator, I have had very many varied and exciting opportunities to work with children and adults. I spent 3 years as a special education coordinator, counselor, and special education teacher at Caslin School, which is part of the Northern Lights School Division. One activity that I helped plan for was a conference for women at Buffalo Lake Métis Settlement near Boyle, Alberta. One of the roles that I had was to interview an inmate at the Women's Maximum Security Prison in Maple Creek, Saskatchewan, and her interview was part of the conference. I also spent 11 years as a kindergarten teacher and grade 1 teacher in Fort McMurray, Alberta. Before that, I taught 5 years at Keano College in Fort McMurray, Alberta, where I taught kindergarten and part-time adult education in early childhood. I was part of a lab school there that had a one-way mirror, and students could observe the children in play and in learning activities while I taught the class. I also taught 2 years as a kindergarten teacher with Edmonton Public, and my first year teaching was in Czar, Alberta, which is out near Provost, and I was a grade 3-4 teacher. Some of the activities that I do around my teaching are, I'm a volunteer board chairperson for the Lac La Biche Child Care Association for 2 years now. I have found that this volunteer role has really helped me in my teaching adults about early childhood. We were one of the first childhood centers in Alberta to get accredited, and our center is now working on our 4th accreditation. Along with my duties and love of teaching children and adults, I have another love, and that's the love of my children. I have 3 children. One is age 32, one is age 31, and my son is age 27. And I'm also the grandmother of a 14-year-old girl who I hope, when she graduates from high school, will go into early childhood or educational assistance. Sometimes I've wondered if I shouldn't go back into the classroom again and be a kindergarten teacher, because I really love that experience of working with young children. Yet I realize the more adults that I can help train to work in developmentally appropriate ways with children, the better life is. If I reach one adult, they may have the capacity to reach 30 children. And I really think it's important that we look and value early childhood as the most important step in a child's life. And the more we're able to do that, the better. I hope that you take lots away from your learning, and I also hope that I will be part of the journey in your education. I don't know what to say.